Piers Morgan never pulls punches, and this time, his target was none other than Labour leader Keir Starmer. In what's being called one of the most electrifying interviews of the year, Morgan didn't just ask questions, he dismantled Starmer's political narrative in real time, leaving viewers and commentators alike in shock. The stage was set for an intense conversation. Starmer, often criticized for being too vague or overly cautious, came to defend his vision for Britain, a nation grappling with economic struggles, rising inflation, and growing discontent among its citizens. Yet, Morgan, embodying the voice of many frustrated Britons, wasn't going to let him off the hook easily. Morgan opened with a searing question that immediately set the tone. Keir, Britain is on its knees. People are struggling to heat their homes, feed their families, and trust their government. You're telling us Labour is the answer, but do you even have a plan? Starmer's response was measured, listing policy points and promising change, but Morgan's interruptions were swift and cutting. Promises, Keir, we've heard them all before. People don't want promises, they want results. Why should anyone believe you're different from the parade of politicians who've failed us? It wasn't just a question, it was an indictment of political inertia. Morgan's passion resonated because it mirrored the frustration of millions who feel left behind by a system that seems perpetually broken. But this wasn't just a debate, it was a battle of wits and will. Morgan pressed harder, referencing specific moments in Starmer's leadership where critics say he fell short. You had a chance to show bold leadership during the rail strikes, during the cost of living crisis. But instead, you played it safe, stuck to the sidelines. Leadership isn't about waiting for the perfect moment, it's about taking a stand, even when it's unpopular. So, where's your courage, Keir? Starmer attempted to pivot, emphasizing Labour's policies on green energy, public services, and housing. But Morgan wasn't letting up. Policies sound great on paper, but people don't live on paper, Keir. They live in reality, a reality where wages stagnate, and hope feels like a luxury. Can you really claim to understand that? The tension in the room was palpable. Starmer, known for his calm demeanor, seemed visibly rattled at times. Yet, he also fought back, accusing Morgan of reducing complex issues to sound bites and oversimplifying Labour's efforts. Piers, it's easy to criticize from the sidelines. Governing is a marathon, not a sprint. Real change takes time, and it requires a collective effort. But Morgan wasn't done yet. He turned the conversation personal, asking Starmer what he would say to a single mother in Manchester, working 3 jobs and still unable to afford basic necessities. Would you tell her to wait, Keir? Would you tell her that change takes time? Because she doesn't have time. She needs help now. It was a moment that cut through the noise, a stark reminder of the human stakes in political discourse. Morgan's ability to frame the debate around real people's struggles added a layer of urgency that was impossible to ignore. By the end of the exchange, it wasn't clear who had won the argument. But one thing was certain, Morgan had forced a conversation that Britain desperately needed. He gave voice to the anger, the disillusionment, and the demand for better leadership. This wasn't just an interview, it was a reckoning. A moment that asked, perhaps louder than ever, whether Britain's political class, Labour and Conservative alike, has what it takes to steer the country out of crisis. As the credits rolled, viewers were left with a burning question: can Britain truly get better under leaders who seem more focused on talking points than transformative action? Whatever your answer, one thing is clear: Piers Morgan's challenge to Keir Starmer was more than television drama. It was a rallying cry for a nation demanding better.